I started life in a caravan. I was brought up in a caravan. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. A lot of these sort of entrepreneur types, the sort of famous ones that you see on the TV, you check back into their family history, and I think one of them, his father was a judge, and you know, others had loads and loads of money. I was born with no silver spoon at all, you know. My parents, for all of my sort of youth, ran a hardware store in Winchester. And I just want to talk about the retail model for a second, apart from the sports business, obviously, because it's a complete nightmare. As a kid, I mean, we had no money. We bounced along the poverty line for all of my years as living at home. Let's just show you cash on demand versus traditional business. I want to show you this because people see the cash on demand thing and think, oh yeah, and they sort of take it for granted. But I want to show you some of the alternatives to cash on demand to try and put the thing into context. Otherwise, you go away from it and say, oh yeah, that looks easy. Yeah, we'll have a go at that. But you need to understand the downside if you look at other types of business. I mean, in my dad's old shop, we used to have 16,000 items, different items of stock. So in that business, imagine you go out, you buy all the stock on credit, because you haven't got the money. As a shopkeeper, you haven't got the money. So you buy the thing on credit, and you hope that people come into your store and want to buy the stuff you've got in stock, which is totally different to the model I'm teaching you today. You put out your open sign, and then you sit behind your counter. So you open your shop, you stock it, and you wait for somebody to go past the front door and to come in and actually buy something. And you sit in your shop. This is the graph of a typical retail store. January the 2nd, you open the front door, you sit in that store for the whole year. You get peaks and troughs in turnovers and things. It dips around Easter. It dips on summer holiday. But you have to be there for the whole of that period. Okay? That's the retail model. You have to open 6, 7 days a week. You have to be there. If you're running your own little business, you have to be in there 6 or 7 days a week in case a customer wanders by. I took a friend of mine and her daughter up to London last week. We went into Hamley's toy store. Fantastic place. Love Hamley's. Love going in there playing with all the toys. Hamley's, the top toy store in the world. They lost £3.6 million last year. Anybody want to open a toy store? I mean, it's all in the news. MFI. MFI, with all their money, they lost. I mean, imagine opening a store today thinking, I know, I'm going to lose £500,000 this year. They lost 600 grand. They're now trying to rejig the whole thing and sell up market kitchens and things. But they lost 600 grand. In Vienna, there is a beautiful, beautiful old tobacconist shop. Lovely place, lovely old cabinets and things. A beautiful, I mean, you can see the old till here for taking the money. Beautiful old place. The giveaway is on the sign. It's been open since 1811. Generations have operated this tobacconist store. Can you imagine? One day, son, this will all be yours. Oh, bloody great, thanks, you know. I mean, can you imagine? Dad says, right, well, I'm off now, son. You can start your tobacco, you can take over the family firm, right? So he hands you the keys, right? And you're a young guy, and you say, I'm going to make the money out of this. So you stock the thing out with all the cigars and everything. You're ready to go. You open the door the next day. 60 years later, your life's gone. You haven't enjoyed the life. All you've been doing is sitting indoors, waiting for people to wander by. You've been gazing out of that window for 60 years of your life. As a kid, you were in there as well, because Dad used to have you behind the counter. I know this because that's how it used to be when I was a kid. You stay in there because the whole family's waiting for somebody to come in and buy a cigar. Why would you want to spend your whole life running a business, waiting for your customer? I mean, your customers are controlling your life. That's the opposite of what I'm teaching you today. Why would you want to do that when there's so much else going on out there? Sorry about the legs. I can be on that beachfront over in the States operating my business. I can be there, not inside some pokey little shop looking out the window, looking for Mrs. Goggins to go by the front door every day and see if she's going to come in and buy something. I can be on that beachfront in the evening, having downloaded my orders, having sent them over to the UK to a fulfilment house where they've sent everything out. I can check my bank statement online and I can see that the money's come in. It doesn't get much better than that. I love going to Las Vegas, not for the gambling and the women, obviously. I love going to Las Vegas. Fantastic shows over there. I can operate from Las Vegas. I can operate from a suite in the Waldorf Astoria. Why would you want to sit indoors gazing out the same office or shop window? I didn't want a situation where my customers ruled my life. Okay? When I want the money using the cash on demand system, I just go out there and tell them they can now spend some money. Thanks very much. Okay? Rather than just sitting there month after month after month after month, I have a different way of doing things. I get my customers lined up behind the start line, champing at the bit, hungry crowd that we talk about in cash on demand. I get everybody ready. They're all G'd up, they're ready to go. As soon as we release that tape, boom, they're off. When I want some money, I go out there with a starting pistol. Don't point it at them. I fire the starting pistol and say, right, go. You've got 48 hours to send me all your money. And I always have a finish line as well. I don't want a situation where I put the thing out and then I let it go on to the end of the year. I want, because of cash on demand and the lifestyle I want to have, I want to say, right, I'm going to do some work this week. I'm going to pull in some money, then I'm off to have some fun. That's the system I use. That's what I'm showing you today. That's the system I use. I have a start point and a finish point. Just in that very small race, in that small amount of time, the money comes in, and then you have a gap when you go and do something else. That's how, we were showing earlier the journalist guy that I spent time with last year. That's how we were able to set something up and within 5 days bring in over £500,000. Live on camera. I mean, there's nothing more nerve-wracking, apart from doing seminars, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than having a camera over your shoulder as you try and pull in some money and you think, I hope this internet connection works too,
Do you know when that's going to be broadcast?
Do I know when it's going to be broadcast? No, not yet.